In this video, I'm gonna talk about Warhammer 40,000 Boltgun. I was so angry at Wolfenstein's parody of reality that once I was done with it, I had to, of course, play another video game that was even more balls deep in parody. But that's the beauty about 40k. Everything is so terrible that it's great again. It wears its ridiculousness on its sleeve, and it embraces its nihilism with all the bravado of Thelma and Louise before the cliff. Because if the world's going down the shitter, then we're gonna make it go down with all the raw force and power of a shopping mall toilet. The story is as follows. Some bitch-ass motherfucker somewhere is being a bitch-ass motherfucker, so you're being sent over to pick up a MacGuffin that kills him, and you'll take many unexpected detours along the way. I didn't get the story right. In fact, I pulled that story right out of my ass. We're not here for the story, just like you weren't there for the articles in your youth. Don't try to sound cultured. We're here to bust. We're here to blast. We're here to expel matter onto people at maximum velocity for as long as we can. We're gonna smirk, we're gonna yell, "Take it!" and we're probably gonna say slurs. This here is a good old boomer, I barely know her, shooter, I barely know her. Move around, kill everything into ground meat, find the keys, open the doors, make it to the end. That's all you gotta do. No puzzles, no deduction, no skill trees, no inventory management system, no squad mates with a questionable behavior. You're on your own, and that's good enough. Funny as it sounds, the starting weapon is competent enough to be useful the whole way. You're gonna need other weapons for the bigger and badder boys out there, but there's always a supply of small fry to keep your workhorse busy. And if you don't like it, there is so much ammo all over the place that completely running out is more of a you problem and not a them problem. You can be liberal in your choice of boomsticks. If you want to kill the weakest mook in the game with the cannon that fires pure molten neutrons or whatever, be my guest. I'm actually amazed that this isn't an achievement. Even the chainsword is surprisingly useful, and it's available at your fingertips at all times. You might want to know that once you've locked onto somebody with it, you gotta keep mashing the melee button for as long as you want to keep sawing at him. That said, it's not always a good idea, because the stronger enemies can shove you back or otherwise punish you if you stick around in their faces for too long. Up to you to make a judgment call on this one. Upgrades can be found by way of secrets, they last until the end of the level, and they do things like give you a magazine of special ammo for the bolt gun, increase ammo capacity for the weapon you're carrying, give that weapon an obscure upgrade that you'll have to find out about the hard way, or allow you to go on a near-invincible rampage for a short while. It's fortunate that the secrets in the game are not hidden in weird nooks or crannies. In all cases, they're located in places that you would have logically checked in the course of natural exploration, on the condition that you look up and down often enough. And goodness me, are you gonna have to do exploration. Every level is home to a mess that rivals a teenager's bedroom. Replenishing health and supplies after a fight means combing the place over 2 or 3 times because you are certain you saw that heavy bolter ammo somewhere, and you're not sure if you bumped into it mid-fight or if you hallucinated the whole thing. There's more ammo between the battle arenas, but you never know. This is an old-style video game we're talking about. We gotta be prepared. We gotta be fully topped up just in case we get a curveball. Can you blame me for being paranoid? Granted, the game autosaves every so often, but I've had a couple instances where it chose to autosave right past a point of no return, my health points are in the single digits, and my next fight pits me against the devil in person. Twice. Simultaneously. That leaves restarting the level as my only reasonable option, and since a few of these levels can take upwards of 20 minutes to do, well, yeah. If you want some advice, I recommend doing a manual save at the start of each level. This way, you keep your loadout even in the worst of circumstances. If you start a level from the chapter select screen, you start completely fresh. That's why the game places extra weapons all over even though you picked them up before. That's good forethinking. You'll never be completely helpless if you choose to start from the chapter select, but saving at the start of each level is cheap and it gives you an edge. So there you go. It's worth noting that a semi-recent update introduced a navigational aid on the off chance that you have no idea where to go. That's good. Some of the arenas are so huge that you can't even see the other side, let alone the tiny little blinking light that tells you this door over there is probably the one that should be activated. Among the other update goodies is a Defend Against Infinite Enemies mode and a Typing of the Dead mode for good measure. I will not say no to extra goodies. Bring them on. It's actually kind of funny to kill enemies in a retro-inspired video game by typing stuff like "For the Emperor" and "Burn the Heretic." It's welcome bonus content, if 10 hours of regular campaign leaves you wanting more. I'm happy. I'm happy this is here. I'm happy that I get to enjoy some power fantasy, and that I don't need to think about it too hard. I'm running and bouncing and shooting all over the place, and I can comfortably survive the encounter as long as I keep my concentration up somewhat. The way the enemies work is that most of them deal chip damage, and then a few of them can show up to totally ruin your day if you don't figure out how to handle them. Learning how to defeat them without getting your face bashed in is a reasonable project, although you might need a few attempts and a minute of thinking to work out a strategy. And hey, if all else fails, jump onto a rock. Most of your foes have no idea how to deal with you if you're on top of a rock. Same dealio if you're so far away that you can snipe to your heart's content. They'll be none the wiser. They'll go to their graves while still being clueless about where those bright blue balls were coming from. Full disclosure, I wanted to publish this before the new year so as to end 2025 on a positive note, but instead, I guess we'll start 2026 on a positive note. Maybe that's for the best. Sometimes, events conspire together, and the best solution is to roll with the punches, maybe even use your enemy's own momentum against them if you can afford it. Fits pretty well with the character we're playing. We're not alone, surrounded by mountains of foes. We just enjoy a target-rich environment, and we get to selfishly have it all to ourselves. In short, this game is fuck it, we ball.